So first off, I decided to get a bright colored shirt to wear in the water because I'm starting to venture away from the dock a little bit, and I felt a lot better about that with all the boats coming and going. But today I was in the water for 2 hours, and I spent probably the first hour just doing the same thing, launching, getting a few pumps in, and then crashing. And it took me a while to figure out like what I was doing wrong, and it was two things. One, didn't have my front foot close enough to the front of the board, and didn't have my weight out over the front of the board. So I'm just always stalling. I get started, whatever speed I had, it gets less and less and less, and then you just stall out and crash, right? Or go into an uncontrolled roll like that. So I did that for over an hour, and I have to do some research on how you get out of a roll like that. Like with the big foil like this, 186 centimeter foil is a huge wingspan, like 5 feet. And so when you get it past a certain, like you roll it like 15 degrees or something, it's almost impossible to get it back, get the wing back down. I think you have to turn into it or something. But anyways, and when I'm going so slow, you just, you pump off of it, it just makes it worse, and then you crash. So I have to learn what I'm supposed to do to handle that and get better at not getting into rolls. But after the first hour, I basically sat and thought for a little while, like what is it that I'm not doing right? And you can see there, like the front of the board is higher than the back. My feet are in the right position, but the weight is not forward, so I'm just losing speed with every pump, right? I'm pumping uphill, basically. So I stopped. First I did some little kind of just to get that feeling, what I'm supposed to be doing in my body. I got that pumping feeling on dry land. And then I put this into my mind and tried to remember to stand up tall, put equal pressure on both of your legs, and lean your body more forward out towards the front of the board. And then, I started to do better for sure. And that's how I got, those runs at the beginning of this video, which were, probably 20 or 25-second runs, which is amazing for me. I think the longest I've ever gotten before is like maybe 10 seconds. But it's so amazing when you're high on the mast, you've got lots of speed, and you're in control. So I just really need to work on my balance and pumping and getting speed to stay moving. I think speed helps with your stability too, I think. And also I was pumping out of trouble here too. You could say I touch down sometimes, but if you're in the right position on the board, you can pump out of that. But you can see when my legs are all spaghetti like that, you're not transferring the power down into the foil. It's just like rubber legs, You really need to like push hard and stiffen up your body to stand tall, to deliver that power down into the foil. Someone on the beach, I guess, must have been adding some sound effects. It was, the conditions were a little bit challenging today. Like the tide was going the other way today. It was going going up river. So I'm going or the current, I should say. The current, I'm going into the current there, which helped a lot getting lift and taking me back to the dock when I crashed. But it was a little bit windy. It's kind of just breezy, really, but sometimes the wind would come up and you'd see ripples on the water and stuff. But the water was pretty flat. That was the best part. There were no real swells or anything like that. So I was having a really good time. There was a seal swimming around me too, checking me out. Yeah, the wind came up right here. It was starting to get a little challenging. But I'm starting to get out maybe like a third across the creek, and not there, but some of the runs I'm about a third of the way across. So when you crash, you're pretty far out, you know, and it's a little weird paddling back in on a 3-foot board rather than like what I'm used to, maybe like a 8 or 9-foot longboard where you're not really in the water. But I just kept thinking of all the things down in the water. But anyways, I like that I'm able to, like, when I lose my balance, I can use my arms to recover a little bit there, rather than just falling, you know. So that's awesome. That happened to me a lot, where the board's kind of squiggly left or right, kind of squidgy under my feet. So it's not going straight forward. It's going whoop, like that, left and right. And I guess that must be where my feet are placed, or how I'm not putting equal pressure, or I'm doing it at the wrong time, one before the other or something. Because yeah, it's not. It makes it really, like, I wiped out so many times just from that little squiggle, like that, you know. Yeah, and I get into those banks and I try to get out of them. I've even taken my back foot off and put it all the way over and put all the weight I can on it, and it doesn't move it anywhere. It doesn't go down, or so I don't know how to get out of those rolls. I decided to just go to the other dock for a second just to see how I did from there. You can see the front of the board is just up, and you can see him getting slower and slower and slower until I finally just stalled there. And this is a pretty good run. Like, I think I was going for about 25 seconds here.